Hi. This is part two of my series about how religion totally and completely ruined and devastated my life, and also the lives of my parents and grandparents, my family. As I was reading the Bible, more and more thoughts was starting to, and questions were starting to come up in my mind. Um, I started to realize that something was wrong, but I decided to give it a try. I didn't want to give up, and I said maybe there are answers somewhere. Maybe I will learn later um, why this is contradictory, or maybe it's not contradictory, maybe it just seems so. And I started consulting and reading a lot of Bible commentaries, Bible treatises, and various analysis of the Bible, and listening to a lot of and watching a lot of sermons, talking to pastors. But the questions that I posed to my pastors and people from the church were never logically answered, and they were left hanging in the air. I could not reconcile, and I could not find answers to the questions, for example, or the contradictions. Why, for example, in Genesis 1:20 and 21 and 26 and 27, birds were created before man was created. But then in Genesis 2:7 to 19, man was created before birds were created. Or in Genesis 1:26, man was supposed to have dominion over fish and birds and cattle and wild animals. Yet in Genesis 2:15 and 17, it says it's wrong to be able to tell good from evil, right from wrong. Then in Genesis 1:24 and 27, animals were created before man was created. But then Genesis 2:7, 19, man was created before animals were created. In Genesis 1:11 and 12 and 26 and 27, trees were created before man was created. That's what the Bible says. And then in Genesis 2:4 and 9, man was created before trees were created. In Genesis 1:14, 19, it says that the sun, which separates actually night and day, wasn't created until the fourth day. But then in Genesis 1:3 and 5, it says that on the first day, God created light, then separated light and darkness. In Genesis 1:31, for example, it says that God was pleased with his creation. And then Genesis 6:5 and 6, it says that God was not pleased with his creation. I thought God should be displeased. The fact that God should be displeased is inconsistent with the concept of omniscience, as well as with the fact that God allegedly does not change his mind. Like, for example, in Numbers 23, 19 and 20, 1 Samuel 15, 29, and other passages. So I decided at that moment to discard these, what I thought and considered to be inconsistencies and contradictions, and to go ahead and continue staying in the church and continue studying the Bible, thinking that maybe I will be able to resolve these, find answers to these questions and resolve these what appeared to be problems at a later stage.